So really important questions, and we talked a little bit about whatever you call it, because it has a number of different names, whether you're in Europe, the UK, or the United States. But the Kawasaki-like syndrome that we're seeing in children around the world, so there has been a couple hundred cases identified in Europe and the UK and in the United States, in a number, 19 different states right now. And it is a post-viral syndrome, it appears. Some of them are associated with COVID-19. We never knew exactly what the cause was of Kawasaki syndrome, but it has arisen mostly in younger children after infections, some viral infections, some bacterial infections. So it is conceivable, it's certainly plausible that COVID-19 could be leading to this in some children. We have made it a reportable condition here in BC, which means that we can go back and look at children I've asked to go back and look to January to see if we have we would expect some cases of Kawasaki syndrome because we tend to see it during influenza season, but whether any of them are related to COVID. And I know there has been a look particularly at Children's Hospital with some of my pediatric colleagues have been looking into this, and there are at least half a dozen that they're investigating. None has yet been confirmed to be related to COVID-19. So we don't have any known confirmed cases related to COVID-19 yet in the province, but that investigation is still ongoing, and I will keep you up to date as we learn more about this syndrome. I will say it is quite rare still, and there has been 3 that I'm aware of deaths in the United States of children. So it is something that we are watching very, very carefully. And the data still is coming in around children being affected by COVID-19, and it is clear around the world that they are less likely to be infected with COVID-19 than adults. And in BC, that bears out as well, where children under 10 in particular are less than 1% of the cases that we've seen here in the province. I think we're up to 27 children under the age of 10. And they are around the world as well. We're seeing much fewer cases of children needing to be hospitalized or have intensive care support. And we have had no young people under the age of 19 who have needed to be in ICU, and we've had no deaths in BC. We've had, I think we're up to 78 or 79 overall of young people under the age of 19, and we've had 3 hospitalizations. So that is the good news for us. We've seen some data that's come out of Australia, New Zealand, and others that show that it is much more likely for children to be infected from an adult than vice versa. And it may have something to do, there was a nice study that came out on the weekend that looked at the ACE2 receptors. So we know that COVID binds to the angiotensin converting enzyme receptors that are in the back of one's nose and throat and in your lungs and in your gut, and that children seem to have fewer of those until we get into our older teens and 20s. So that may have something to do why it seems to be less likely that children will get one infected and then 2 have severe illness because they have fewer of these. That's still a theory, but that's one of the things that we're looking at. But the evidence really does continue to show that children are less likely to transmit it, both between each other or to adults, and that they're less likely to be infected and less likely to have severe illness. So that's all good news.